You've probably asked yourself, why would a woman who says she loves you sleep with someone else? Sounds completely illogical, right? But the painful truth behind this question is something that truly makes us stop and think. Love and loyalty don't always go hand in hand. In this video, we're going to peel back the emotional layers, dive deep into the complex female psychology, and uncover the hidden motives, buried emotions, and silent decisions that lead a woman to cheat, even when her heart still beats for you. Do you want to know why sometimes love alone isn't enough to keep her by your side? And could it really be just because you forgot to take out the trash or wore mismatched socks? The answer might surprise you. Emotional starvation never screams, but it quietly kills love. For a woman, love isn't just a feeling, it's nourishment for her soul. She can still love you deeply, but feel emotionally drained. You're physically there, yet somehow not really present in her emotional world. You may provide for her, but you don't protect her inner emotional life. Women often don't cheat simply because they want a new body. They crave new emotions, fresh attention, validation, and connection that they aren't getting at home. Imagine this. It could be the coworker who quietly listens to her stories, the friend who sincerely compliments her, or even a stranger who asks how she really feels and actually pays attention. It's not the kiss that draws her in, it's the conversations. The way he notices her new haircut, the way he locks eyes when she talks, the way he makes her laugh when you're too tired to smile. These little things carry invisible power, like whispers in the dark, soft yet intense. But what happens when emotions are not just missing but actively suppressed? Repressed desires always find a way to leak out. Many women are conditioned by society, upbringing, and relationships to silence their deepest needs. She may love you fiercely, be loyal and devoted, but if her sensuality, inner fire, and emotional depth are ignored or dismissed, she doesn't simply forget them. She buries them. And what's buried doesn't disappear. It simmers beneath the surface. She tells herself everything is fine, that she's not being selfish, that real love means sacrifice. So she quiets her hunger, dials down her passion, and tries to play the role of the good woman, until one day she just can't anymore. That buried part of her grows louder and louder. It whispers in her ear, reminding her of who she once was, the woman who laughed louder, danced more freely, and spoke her truth without fear. She's not cheating to betray you. She's cheating to reclaim herself. A woman whose emotions is like a ticking time bomb. And when it explodes, it's never quiet. It's messy, chaotic, and above all, unexpected. You thought everything was fine, but she was drowning in silence. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's move on to the next part, where we'll explore the warning signs you absolutely can't afford to miss. Continuing the story of the woman whose emotions have been suppressed and the whispers in the dark, let's uncover what happens when those feelings explode beyond control. Have you ever tried putting a lid on boiling water and pretending everything's fine? The truth is, it's never fine. Eventually it boils over, and the mess left behind is rarely easy to clean up. When a woman tastes even a moment of freedom like that, it triggers something far more dangerous: the fantasy escape syndrome. The reality is, life can get dull, passion fades, responsibilities pile up, and when routine replaces romance, even the strongest love can start to feel lifeless and empty. Many women don't cheat just to destroy the relationship. They cheat to escape their reality. They're not always leaving you. They're running from a version of themselves trapped in a cycle of monotony and unmet dreams. She meets someone who's exciting, mysterious, unpredictable. He's not necessarily better than you, just different. He becomes the spark in the middle of her burnout. He is the what if you no longer represent, the novelty that life with you no longer offers. He doesn't have to be rich, handsome, or even emotionally available. He just has to represent a different timeline, a different version of her story, where she still feels wild, free, and wanted. And if you don't provide that sense of novelty, someone else will. But here's the painful twist. She still loves you. That love never disappeared. She just wanted a taste of the life she's not living. She's not always running from you. Sometimes she's running toward the fantasy of herself she thinks she's lost. And if that fantasy feels better than her reality, she might never come back. But what happens when it's not about excitement, but about pain? Even in the most loving relationships, emotional wounds often go unspoken. She remembers the night you dismissed her feelings, the time you made a careless joke at her expense, or how invisible she felt when she needed you most. She may never confront you. She might even say it's fine. But inside, the pain remains vivid, and pain doesn't always seek understanding. Sometimes it seeks revenge. So, how can you recognize these silent signs? And is there a way to save what's still worth saving before it's too late? Let's dive deeper into this in the next part. Building on the story of silent wounds and the inner struggles of a woman, now let's dive deeper into the less talked about but very common reasons why she might betray you. It's not always a conscious act of betrayal. She's not sitting there plotting to hurt you. But when someone else shows her compassion, attention, and understanding, she might cross the line, not out of desire, but as a form of retaliation. It's a kind of emotional justice, subconscious, quiet, yet devastatingly powerful. A woman can still love you, care for you, cook for you, and kiss you while carrying invisible scars that were never acknowledged. Isn't that terrifying? You think she's moved on because she smiled at you today, but that smile could be masking years of emotional erosion. Then one day, her heart cracks, not because she stopped loving you, but because the pain finally demands release. If you thought that was dark, the next reason might chill you to the core. This one is rarely discussed, but it's more common than most men realize. Some women cheat not because of neglect, sadness, or revenge, but out of curiosity. Curiosity about their own value, their influence, and their power in the world. She asks herself, can I still attract someone if I try? Do I still have it? Have I lost my edge? In a culture that constantly bombards women with messages about youth, desirability, and attention, many begin to question their worth when those things start to fade. So she tests the waters, not because she wants to leave you, but to prove to herself that she's still magnetic, still wanted, still powerful. This isn't personal, it's psychological. She might love you deeply and still need validation from someone else. And in today's hyper-connected world, validation is just a DM away. Cheating becomes less about leaving and more about proving to herself that she can still command attention, that she's still relevant, that she still matters. When emotional chaos, fantasy, resentment, and curiosity swirl together, it leads to the most dangerous truth of all. Many women don't cheat because they stopped loving you. They cheat because they can no longer feel you. Women are wired emotionally. Connection, presence, depth. These aren't luxuries. They're lifelines. And when emotional intimacy fades, even if love remains, she begins to starve. Not for physical affection, but for emotional safety. She might start with subtle hints, quiet cries for reconnection. She tells you she feels distant, asks you to talk more, open up, spend time together. But life gets busy, work is stressful, and gradually you both begin to coexist rather than truly connect. And then it happens. A deep conversation with someone else, an unexpected compliment, a moment where she feels truly seen. What happens next? Let's uncover that in the next part. Building on that moment when she feels understood and comforted by someone else, opening a crack in her heart, let's explore what's really happening inside. It's not for her body, nor for what you provide, but for her soul. And in that single moment, a crack appears in the walls she's built around herself. Through that crack slips in a feeling she hasn't experienced in a long time. It's not just attraction, it's emotional relief, like finally exhaling after holding her breath for far too long. When a woman no longer feels emotionally anchored in her relationship, she will unconsciously seek that anchor elsewhere. Not because she's cruel, but because connection is oxygen to her heart. And when you stop being her emotional home, she'll look for shelter wherever it's offered. This is how emotional affairs begin, and they're often far more dangerous than physical ones. Once she forms an emotional bond with someone else, her heart might already be gone, even if her body hasn't followed yet. So, what's the solution? Understanding these truths isn't about controlling women. It's about learning what true connection really means. If you want to protect your relationship, never stop seeing her, not just as your partner, but as a whole person with desires, emotions, contradictions, and depth. Speak her language, not only with words, but through your presence. Be her calm in the chaos, her fire when life turns cold, her mirror when she forgets who she is. And most importantly, never assume love alone is enough. Love is the foundation, but intimacy, respect, communication, and novelty, these are the walls that keep temptation out. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. You don't need to be wealthy. You need to be real. Because here's the deepest truth: a woman doesn't cheat because she's tired of you. She cheats because she's tired of not seeing herself in your eyes anymore. So be the man who reflects her worth back to her. Be the man who doesn't just love her, but truly knows her. Because when a woman feels known, seen, and emotionally safe, she won't look anywhere else. She simply won't need to. If this video has opened your eyes, don't just keep this knowledge to yourself. Act on it. Strengthen your awareness. Be emotionally grounded. And if you're ready to uncover more unspoken truths about love, power, and psychology, subscribe now and hit the bell icon. Remember, gentlemen, protecting your relationship doesn't start by controlling her. It starts with mastering yourself. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and never stop growing.